Hello everyone, welcome again to POK Experience. I'll be talking about something important today in e-commerce marketing, and I call it color psychology of e-commerce marketing because I believe color is one of the important decisions you make as a business owner, as an e-commerce owner, or as a marketing professional in the e-commerce space or around the world. But I'm going to be niching this down to e-commerce. But if you're a marketing person or a business owner, you need to see this, you need to hear this. And of course, you need to share with your friends if you find it helpful. So, have you ever been, maybe you're shopping online, maybe you're scrolling online, and you just felt this urge to maybe buy? But before you even get there, have you observed that there are some websites where you will land and you really feel welcome? You will feel warm, you will feel at home, you feel a kind of comfort around you, you feel peaceful. Wherever there's some other website where you will land, you feel like somebody is chasing you, you feel like somebody is screaming at you. Yes, all of these are happening because of color. Yes, it is the color that made it look like somebody is screaming at you. You might not know until you go deep into the research and you find it. But why I'm actually sharing this today is because close to a decade now, working with different e-commerce brands around the world. I've worked with perfume brands, food brands, fashion brands, uh, pet and pet product brands as well. I've observed that many people miss out on giving their brand the right color. They miss this out. Many people also choose the color of their brand based on what they like, based on their own personal color preference, which is very, very wrong. The color you should pick is not the color that you like as a founder. Nobody cares about the color you like as a founder. Yes, nobody cares. So guess what? I know you will have come across many tech brands, many consulting brand. Think about PayPal, think about Facebook, think about Deloitte, think about McKinsey, think about Money Point. Yes, in Nigeria we have the likes of Money Point, we have the likes of Piggyverse, Cowrywise. We have a lot of these brands and co, right? You will have noticed something. I know before I even say it, you will have said the color blue. There's a reason. There's a reason we have color blue as the internet color. Let me call it that. There's a reason why a particular Facebook company in the US and PayPal in the US have similar color with Money Point. There's a reason. It is not coincidence. It is backed by research. That is why they chose it. Yes. Think about fast food brand. Think about food brand generally. There's a reason the likes of McDonald's, Chicken Republic in Nigeria, Burger King, Glovo, and the likes. Coca-Cola, in fact, the almighty Coca-Cola. There's a reason why they use a combination of red and yellow. It is not guesswork. It is not because they felt like it would be cool. No, it is science. It is research. That is why they use a combination of red and yellow. And it's called red is an activator, to be specific. It actually boosts appetite. It makes you start craving things. It calls your attention. It creates urgency in people. Red, it can also create this kind of danger or loss, feeling in people. But that is why it needs to be used right, and that is why you have a blend of red and yellow, because yellow makes people feel happy, yellow makes people feel welcome, yellow makes people feel friendly, it makes people feel comfort. So when you combine them, when you combine yellow and red, they send a very fast, energetic, strong signal to people's brain, which make them feel this appetite to want to pick their meal very fast, which make them start craving. If they are going on the street now and you see a big logo of McDonald's, you will see it. It will call your attention. If there's a Chicken Republic somewhere, you will see it. The red and yellow grabs attention because they need to get your attention so fast. You can't compare it to, say, a fast food brand that uses brown. Nobody's going to go there. Brand is not calling. It's not calling your attention. It's not grabbing your attention. It is kind of cool and mature, yes. But brown also works for other type of businesses. You also see that some people also use green. There's a reason. And we'll get into the nitty-gritty of why this brand use this color. So simply put, people have actually studied human behavior. There's what is called neuromarketing, neuroscience of marketing. People took time to study human behavior. They study human psychology, they study human emotion, and they know the colors that evoke emotions in people. And that is why today we want to talk about what exactly is color psychology and why is it the most powerful tool for an e-commerce owner, for an e-commerce marketing person. Why is the color the most important thing? Because it determines a lot of things. It determines the color palette, for example, determines what will be the buy button on your website. And trust me, if you get your buy button right, it can increase conversion by 20%. I've consulted for brands that I changed their buy button from green to red, and conversion went up by 20%. These are facts. These are data backed. You see warm colors like red and yellow, they are linked with energy, positivity. And that is why when you use them for buy button, they call people attention on that website. People want to click on them. It is a fact. This is not guesswork. Like I said, you see cool colors like blue, like green and purple. They make people feel welcome. They are linked with trust. They are linked with professionalism. They are linked with intelligence. That's why you see people like Deloitte, Cowdy-Wise, McKinsey. They use blue. Why? Because blue has been linked with intelligence. Blue is the internet color, so to speak. So brand uses this color when they want to appear steady, when they want to appear intelligent, when they want to appear like reliable. You know, green is a color of profit, right? Imagine you have a trading platform and you see green, and then you have a financial a banking app, and you go on the app and you receive money into your banking app, and the color of the addition is like purple. It doesn't send anything. There's a reason why the color of that alert is green, because it's green has been linked with health. It has been linked with profit. It has been linked with profitability. Green is kind of reliable. Again, these colors are very important when you are deciding on what should I. Even as a graphic designer, that is why I always at POK e-commerce agency, my graphic designers stay with us in our strategy meeting, in our marketing meeting, because marketing starts from right there when you are even designing the banner. For example, you want to run an ad, and it's for a food brand, and you want to use brown, you are just already killing the vibe. So as a graphic designer, you need to understand the color psychology that backs the product you are designing for. As a marketing person, you need to understand the color psychology that backs the brand you are also working for. So I know some of you might be thinking, oh, this is just theory. POK might just be cooking some things. No, I am not, and I'm going to be stating some facts that you can go check out in the course of this podcast. Okay, you will see that 80%, the brands have recorded 80% increase in recognition, in attention, in click-through rate, in CTR. When you use the right color for your brand, your ads get more clicks, because as the person is scrolling on social media, bam, 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 before you know, they stop, because your flyer is attention grabbing, because you use the right color. There's a reason why many brands that are targeting women uses purple, because it's a color of royalty. There's a reason why they use purple. There's a reason why they use green. There's a reason why they use pink. Yes, they use pink because it's attention. It kind of rules royalty, and that is what you need to understand when it comes to color psychology. It is a visual promise that brand makes that makes it very simple for people to recognize them, for people to have confidence in them, for people want to associate with them. And I will be going deep into it right now, where I'll be explaining each color and what they do, what they stand for, and how you can, and what type of business you can even use them for. Let's dive right in. The first one is red. Red is such a powerful color. Yes, its positive traits are it shows love, passion, excitement. Love in the sense that I don't need to even scream about this one. That there's a reason we have red as the color for Valentine. Yeah, there's a reason we have red as the color when somebody wants to propose marriage. There's a reason we have color why red lingerie turn a lot of men on. So red is very powerful. Red is inviting. It grabs attention. It makes people want to act fast. It creates a sense of urgency in people. That is why when a product is on sale on your website, the tag is always in red. That is why on your website, people use buy button, add to cart button with red color. It can also make a food look tastier. It makes people look powerful at times. So red is a very, very powerful color. It depends on how you want to use this. But of course, you don't want to use it too much because it also have its negative side. It can mean danger, it can mean anger, it can mean stress if you use too much. There's a reason I did not cover this whole banner with red. I should have done that. But imagine what you are seeing on your screen right now is just red alone. It will scream at you. It will shout at you. That means red has to be used alongside other color. That is why you see people like Chicken Republic mixing red and yellow together, because it blends in. It makes the red not to scream at people. It's blending the warmth, the compassion, the friendliness of yellow. Is blending it with the attention grabbing of red, the urgency of red, and that is why it is very, very powerful for food brand. So if you're an African grocery store, you should be looking in this direction. You're an African grocery, African restaurant in Texas, in Chicago, in wherever. You should know that when people want to come to your store to eat that jollof rice, you should grab their attention with this kind of color. I don't want to be seeing a food brand and I'm using blue. No, it's not done that way. It's not done that way. Again, these are research back facts that I'm dishing out to you. One of the examples, like I said, of brands and e-commerce businesses that uses red are online food brands, African grocery stores, African restaurants, all of these things, fast food delivery, they use red very well. They use red to grab your attention. They use red to trigger hunger in you. They use red to make you to crave the food they are selling as fast food. You want to launch a shawarma stand. You should be thinking alongside red and yellow. You want to launch a fast food stand on the roadside. You should be thinking along the lines of red and yellow. Why? These colors boost appetite. Yes, they increase appetite, so to speak. Moving on, color blue, very, very great color. Like I said earlier, this is the internet color. This is the color of the internet. Many people love blue. It communicates trust, it communicates security, it communicates intelligence, stability, and professionalism. Talking about McKinsey, all of the consulting brand, what do they use? Red, blue. I mean, how about the tech brands that the tech brands? Twitter. Twitter before it become X used to be blue. Facebook was blue. LinkedIn blue. McKinsey blue. Deloitte blue. These are not just out of the blue. These things are not just happening by random. They are research backed, because blue is using trust, it's using security. That's why majority of your fintech uses blue. Money Point in Nigeria, blue. Piggyvest in Nigeria, blue. Cowrywise in Nigeria, blue. Because that is the color that oozes intelligence, stability, and trust. That is it. That is why this type of brand uses blue. However, blue can have its own negative side. If it is used too much, it can reduce appetite. And that is why I say I don't want to see an African grocery store using blue. I don't want to see it. When people want to launch their perfume brand in the US, when people we have a lot of people that target Africans in the US. That is like our core in our agency. We are good at that. And one of the things we always suggest to them is, you want to create a restaurant targeting Nigerians in Birmingham. You can't do that. You can use blue. You can't. It reduces appetite. It reduces appetite. You want to launch an African restaurant in Texas, in Dallas, Texas. You want to use blue because you, the founder, you love blue. It will reduce appetite. That is not the right color. You want to launch a shawarma stand and you want to use blue. No. Wrong. You think all of these tech products that are out there, paper, Facebook, Twitter, and all of these things, they came together, they have a meeting, and they said, okay, blue will be our color. No, they didn't. They are following a particular research that has been done on human psychology, human consumer behavior, to be specific. This is neuroscience. So you have to know blue can feel cold if it's used too much. Okay? It also reduces appetite. You want to make a flyer as a graphic designer for a food brand and you want to put blue, you're going to make a mistake. Don't do that. So study these colors very well. Like I'm saying, examples of businesses that use blue, as I've said it, fintechs, consulting, brands, hospitals. Yes, hospitals are another powerful example that uses blue. Look at the hospitals all over the world. And why? It's because this is a sense of security. You would have think hospitals will dance towards green, because green talks about health. But no, they dance towards, what was it called? Blue. Moving to the next color green. Positive traits, of course, nature, health, growth, peace, wealth. That is why you see every forest brand uses green as trading color. The reason why in Nigeria, if you use a platform called OPay and there's a deposit in your bank account, the addition comes as a green, and if you transfer money out, it goes as a red. The reason, because green is a symbol of wealth. Imagine you are getting debited money from your bank account and the debit comes in green. How will you feel? That is contradictory, right? Because it's not a positive thing. So green is a sign of health. It is a sign of wealth, and you should understand what type of thing you should be using green for. It also has its negative traits, of course. It has its negative traits, which you should also be concerned about. You don't want to use it too much. Yes. You do not want to use green too much. It could be a problem. Everything that is good can also be a problem, because certain shades of green suggest envy at times. Some shades also suggest sickness at times. So you need to be very, very, very careful when you use green. Of course, you don't end at that. The examples are numerous in the world that we live in. You want to launch an e-commerce store and you want to sell health and wellness products. You have to go for green. That is what it means. You have to go for green. It is not, even if you don't like green as the founder of the health and wellness product. That is why you see all of your herbal tea, they come in green. There's a reason they come in green. Your herbal tea, your weight loss products, your supplements, they come in green because green symbolizes health. It symbolizes growth. Moving to the next color purple. There was a day I put it on Twitter that many of my clients that are targeting women make their products in color purple and color pink and orange, because those are feminine color. How many people came for me and said, no, I'm being this, I'm being that. So that's it. I just look at it like, this is fact. This is something I'm dealing with every day in my industry as an e-commerce marketing pro. I deal with this every day. Purple conveys luxury, it conveys creativity, it conveys wisdom. Above all, historically, purple conveys royalty. That's how you see. If you see a purple gemstone, what will you think? You think royalty. So if you're launching a kind of product if you're launching a product that is targeting women, luxury perfume brand, fashion brand, you get those kind of things, you should be thinking purple, you should be thinking pink, you should be thinking orange, because that is how it works. Bring 10 girls and bring 10 boys. 8 of those 10 girls will go for purple. Maybe you can get like 2 or 3 of those boys that will go for purple. But it is what it is. It is not just to change how they think or what they want. It is just to think about what they like and position your brand for that kind of success. Moving to the next one, which is orange. Orange is fun, orange is creative, orange means affordable, orange is kind of warm. So orange is a kind of mix of yellow and red. So you should be thinking that, okay, what kind of thing can I use orange for? It's a mixture of that. It also drives appetite. It means you can be, it is warm, it is comforting as well. But it also calls attention. It also grabs attention, which is why many food brands, fast food brands, African grocery, African restaurants in the US and everywhere, even in Nigeria, they use orange at times instead of red or yellow. So you have a lot of examples of orange that you can use. I'll be moving to the next one, which is yellow. I was talking about this many times during this podcast. Yellow feels bright, yellow feels happy, it's friendly, it's clear, it signals optimism, it signals happiness, it signals that there's something good that is going to happen here. It draws attention from afar. And that is why when you are making designs, when we make design at times for e-commerce stores that are abroad and that are using and we use yellow, man, the arts grab attention. As you're scrolling and you see the banner, you will wait and check it out with yellow. Yellow draws attention, but it's not like it doesn't draw attention like red. It doesn't scream like red. It's kind of welcoming and calm. So that's yellow for you, but it can be ash. It can even make fake. It's characterized. It's always characterized with jaundice. I think people, jaundice, right? I think so. So you have to know how to use yellow very well. You have to know when to combine it with black and when to combine it with red and all of those kind of things. You need to make your research. I'm just giving you tips on, and then calling your attention to the fact that when you are deciding on color, it is not just color. It is a very, very important thing that you're about to do when you are making decisions for your brand. When you are making decisions for your fast food brand, you should be thinking yellow, like I said. You should be thinking red. When you want to signal fun, when you want to signal quick, friendliness, you want to make a snack called you want to make snacks called plantain chips. You should be thinking yellow. Yes, that's why you see that majority of plantain chips comes in yellow pack. These are not coincidence, like I said. They are because people have thought about this. People have run a lot of research on these colors with humans, and they've detected how humans behave when they see this color. Okay, so we're moving to the next thing in this particular episode. So now let's go to the 5 things you need to consider when deciding on the color, when you are trying to make that decision on what should be the color of this e-commerce store I want to launch. I'm launching a perfume brand. What should be the color? I'm launching a fashion e-commerce store. What should be the color? I want to start selling pet products, animal products, this and that. I want to start selling gold. I want to start selling jewelry. What should be the color of my brand? There are 5 things you need to consider when you're about to make this decision. And the first one is your brand personality and values. What do you want to be? What do you want as the identity of your brand? You know, your brand is not the color, right? It's not the color. But your color will tell people something. Your color will make people feel something. We've been able to establish that during the course of this podcast. Your color makes people feel something. If it is blue, there is something they will feel. If it is gold, they will feel something. If it is yellow, if it is red, they will feel something. So you have to understand that what do you want people to feel about your brand? Do you want them to see it as a playful brand or as a serious brand? Do you want them to see it as a luxury brand, as an affordable brand? Do you want them to see it as an intelligent brand? Do you want them to see it as a secure brand, a safe brand? You get, what do you want them to see? What do you want them to see it as? If you want them to see it as playful, you don't want to be picking colors like blue. Trust me, blue does not ooze playfulness. Blue ooze intelligence. It oozes seriousness. So you don't want to pick a color that contradicts the identity, the personality, the values you want for your brand. You don't want to do that. So I'll try to show you examples of what it means, what it looks like. So what is a playful brand? So if you're picking a playful brand, if you want your brand to be playful, that means you want to go with colors like yellow, colors like orange, colors like pink. Those colors shows playfulness. They demonstrate playfulness. They are welcoming. But when you want your brand to look serious, that's when you have to go with very commanding colors like blue, black, and brown. That is it. You don't want to pick contradicting colors. Like I'm showing you on the screen and you can see it. You can feel it yourself. As you're looking at that yellow, as you're looking at that orange and pink, is it not welcoming? What do you feel when you're looking at that blue, that black, that brown? You feel seriousness. You feel intelligence. You feel command. You feel authority, so to speak. And same as if you want your brand to use luxury, you're targeting women fashion, for example, and you want your brand to represent luxury. It means you have to go with colors like gold. You want your brand to use elitism. You have to go with colors like white, purple. You know, those are the ways to show luxury, to show class, to show elitism, something like that. But if you want your brand to show that it is affordable, you want them to feel like, okay, this brand is affordable, you have to go with something like light blue, something like orange at times. So So I'm just trying to point that out so that you understand that the identity and the personality and the values of your brand matters. You do not want to pick a color that contradicts that personality. And the next thing you have to consider is your target audience. What is your target? Who are you targeting? What are the age? What is the gender and culture of that target audience? You know, the colors that young people would like, it's not the same as what mature people would like. Somebody like me, for example, I'm not going to wear a shoe that is yellow. I won't do that. I'd rather put on a brown shoe because it looks cool and mature. I'm not going to wear a shoe that is pink. A woman might do that. So you need to consider the age and the gender. These things are biology, they are neuroscience. They have been happening for centuries. Your bias will not change them. It won't change them. So you need to consider your target audience. I need to consider the color that looks cool with them, the color that follows them. And the next thing is your competitor. So when you are looking at the target audience, you have to look at your competitor that, okay, the people targeting the same people I want to target, what are the colors they use? That is why you see that majority of the fintech that you have around are blue. Because they look at the competitor, okay, what are the people using in this industry? You can see that a lot of hospitals have blue as their color. A lot of consulting brand has blue as their color. Because when you check your competitor, you can either conform or you differentiate. But when you differentiate, you have to be very, very careful. If you are a bank, if you are a fintech and you use red as your color, you have to be very, very careful. Are you sure about that? If you make your research, you need to be very, very careful about picking that kind of color. So the next thing is the cultural context. One of the mistakes that Pepsi did one time is when they used blue, light blue in Asia for one of their brand. And in Asia, light blue is associated with death. It is affected Pepsi brand. In China, the color red means luck. It's a color of luck. But in South Africa, it means a mourning color. A sad color. A color they use when something bad has happened. So you need to understand the cultural context. This market I'm about to enter, this country I'm about to enter, this local government, this state I'm about to target with my product. What does this color stand for? What do they associate this color with? You need to understand the cultural context. And the next thing is, how do you now build a cohesive color palette? Yes, that's the next thing. We've discussed the 5 things you need to consider when you want to pick your color. So, but you now have to build a cohesive color palette. So instead of just using one color, I would suggest that you have 60% of the primary color. You have the 3 primary color, which is your blue, your red, your yellow. Right. So the primary colors are there, 60%. 30% from your secondary colors. These are the colors. The secondary color you get when you mix 2 primary colors together. And then you have 10% for your accent, which can be a third grade color where you mix secondary color and primary colors together, so to speak. So go to your color wheel and decide on the type of color you want to use and create balance. There are many ways you can pick your color. There are many strategies to pick your color. And I don't want to talk about that here. Go and research that. But I've been able to point it out to you how powerful color is when it comes to e-commerce marketing, when it comes to consumer psychology. It's powerful. You need to go in depth into this before you make a decision on the color of your brand. You need to ask yourself these questions. Do my color reflect my brand personality? Do they speak to my audience? Am my competitor using the same color? Am I conforming to the standard of my industry? Am I differentiating myself? Does my color use the identity I want? Is this color not contradictory? The color I'm using as the buy button on my website. My website is an African grocery store, and I'm using color blue as the button. Does that not reduce appetite? You need to consider all of these things so that you can make an holistic and better decision for your brand when you want to pick your color. And of course, I'm going to end it with POK E-commerce Agency. PEA is a full-blown e-commerce marketing agency. Yes, and we work globally. We've worked with clients in the US, UK, and Canada. We are scaling brands that are making $20,000. We're able to scale them to start making $100,000 within 90 days. We are good with what we do. We've helped fashion houses, we've helped perfume brands, we've helped African grocery store in Chicago, in Dallas, in Reading in the UK. Yes, we've helped these stores scale. And that is why you should come to us so that let's work together. Let's help you scale that e-commerce brand today. We can help you design your Shopify store and list all of your products. We list about 1,000 products in a few months. Yes, we just list it and we get it going. We design one of the best e-commerce store for you. We help you decide on your color. We help you use the right color on your website. We combine Facebook ads for you. Facebook ads, we are very good at that. Google ads, your integration with Klaviyo email marketing, your AI automations, how your data should flow among each other so that the targeting and retargeting can be smooth. These are things we do to help e-commerce brands around the world to scale their brand. You want to see the people we've worked with? Our founder is POK. Yes, I am the one speaking. POK. Go to www.pokecommerceagency.com and go check out people that have worked with me when it comes to e-commerce marketing. I'll see you on the next episode of POK Experience. This is e-commerce heritage.